What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, redemptionagency.com, urban-picker.com, 23 and 11/12 years selling on eBay. Try to get back to some normalcy, if you will. Got baby girl. Even got Pee-wee down here in the record room, chilling on the concrete. He actually walked down the steps and only made one little snafu. So he's getting his stability back. Still not eating yet, though. His stomach's still a mess, but we have to get him something special today. Got him some grilled chicken yesterday, so I'll have to see what to do for him today. All right. Well, we're going to ship some items. I got a new little bit of a setup here. So my clothing store stuff's going to be down here, and the shelf that the camera is on is going to be where I pull the media from. So I got it right here, eye level, so might be a little quicker. It's not in any kind of order, so maybe not if I don't have my glasses on. Like, nope, that don't help. And we'll talk about the new change a little bit on eBay that, of course, we don't know nothing about until we figure it out for ourselves. And I'll tell you how I first noticed it, and maybe good and bad points to it. But let's see what I did yesterday, because I'm curious. So if you watched yesterday's video, Sunday was a little over $1,000. So that was good. There's been a noticeable change at least the last 2 days. Saturday night into Sunday night, I did not have an overnight shutdown. I had sales in all hours of the night, and it showed in the numbers. Last night, I had something I haven't seen in a very long time. Had hours up until about 3 o'clock a.m. and then it shut off, which I'll put that in the success category of the night before. I mean, it's not out of the realm to not get a sale at 4, 5, and 6 a.m. So 2 successful overnight. So what do we look like now? And what is today? I don't even know. Today's Tuesday. So what does Sunday into Monday look like? No, sorry. Today's Tuesday, James. So this is Monday into Tuesday. So what was Sunday into Monday like? I don't remember. But we can see what my numbers I did on Monday at least. See how we started the week off. You gotta forgive me, I was up at 3 o'clock. Fell asleep probably about midnight. Up at 3 with Pee-wee, taking him out. And apparently I didn't hear him again, and he peed at the front door. So I was up at 3 cleaning that up. And then I had all my newly listed media through List Easier in the hallway, and on one end it was poop the day before, and on this end it was peed on the other end. I'm like, it's only a matter of time that if this doesn't change, I'm going to lose something. So at 3 o'clock I am hauling down probably about 40 boxes of CDs down here. So and then fell back asleep a little after 4, and then he got me up about 5:45 So still not working on much sleep, but hey, trying to get back to normal. So you may hear little things that my mind's not sharp right this second. So still in a fog. Oh, yeah, so today is July 1st. So that means one thing that changed that I don't know if it's a glitch or whatever. When I go to try to extend my sales, used to I could extend my sales for however long I wanted to, and I would always just do it month. But like if it's coming toward the end of the month, I'm like, well, I'm going to keep these sales. Let me extend it another month. Like I can't do that now. It only gives me 15 days showing in the following month to extend it, and then it won't even let me do it. So I can't extend my sales. I have to wait till they end now and then do it. So unless there's something I'm missing, some change that I'm missing also on top of that. So I don't have no sales running right now. So my sales may be lower at this moment for today, but we'll check that in a second. As for yesterday, nothing on the international websites. I need to get to the eye doctor and get some proper eyewear. Alrighty. So on the media store yesterday, $527. So over 500, 2 days in a row now, right? And then the clothing store yesterday. $397. 0.78. That beats the day before over here. Whoops. So yesterday, so the day before was a little over $1,000, and yesterday was a $924 day. So 2 days in a row of strong sales. 358. Actually, Saturday wasn't bad either. Saturday. Let me see what Saturday was. I have 3 good days in a row. So the clothing store on Saturday was $359. Whoops. And the media store on Saturday '28th. See if I had any international that day. Nope. And that was $479. So almost a $500 day. So Saturday was $838. So not bad for the last 3 days. That's nice. And that's June. You know, all the whole summer slowdown stuff people talk about. Like I said, I've never had an experience of summer slowdown. June and July were always kind of just my lowest months of the year. And we're not talking like a drastic change. We're talking like maybe $1,000, $2,000 or whatever, type of thing. But the last several years, even since COVID, my June and Julys have been pretty strong. And I remember saying June and July was not my lowest months. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. So, the one way I like to look at how I do things, when it comes to volume and just putting everything out there and leaving it up for as long as whatever. As I've talked about before, I like having a store, right? I've always wanted my own store. I love going to a flea market and seeing dust-covered boxes, right? If they lived by that model, that box wouldn't be there. The quick flip type of stuff, right? That box wouldn't be there for somebody to go through. They don't care that it's there. It's there for people who want to go through it and buy something out of it, right? Their little store. I've always wanted to bring that type of feel to the internet. So with my eBay store, I don't mind having things up 10 years because I get plenty of sales from people saying, hey, I can't believe I found this. And it's something that's been up for 8, 9, 10 years. Maybe not 10 at this, well, maybe. Very long time. So I still to this day will get people who find an item for the first time that's been up all these years. And I Googled last month, but let me to ChatGPT. Actually, let me just do it on my, oh, it's on that phone, never mind. Let's see, trying to do something where I was signed in, but it don't matter for this question. How many new people get online for the first time daily? So this is the way I kind of always looked at business. The internet's not, everybody doesn't have the internet worldwide. So how many new people get online every day who may not have seen an item you had up last week, last month, last year, last decade, right? This one says, ChatGPT says, roughly 500,000 to 600,000 people around the world go online for the first time every day. Now, of course, I don't know what those, if that's like new AP addresses, how they calculate that. But still, if you think about, that's a lot of people per day. How many of those will eventually find eBay, find your item on eBay, find an item they've been looking for forever on eBay, right? So that's the way I've always kind of viewed it. So, but of course, this is my model. This is my business. This is the way I do things. And as I've said before, the main benefit of this for me is the fact that I don't have to worry, other than eBay issues, worry about how much money I'm going to make tomorrow or the next day or the next day or next week. I know how much money I'm going to make next month. I know how much money I'm going low end. I know how much money I'm going to make come this December, because I have a history of doing the same thing over and over and over again, the same business model, right? My sales are not dictated on what I find. My sales are not dictated on, man, I didn't find great stuff because the competition's tough out there nowadays, right? You see all these videos all the time on YouTube. Goodwill's, you can't thrift at Goodwill anymore because they're putting the stuff online themselves. No, it's just harder for you, right? That means you have to find other avenues, make new connections, work a little harder to source your merchandise. But I don't have to worry about that. I can go out and buy whatever and list it. I buy the stuff that's just laying there that 30 resellers pass up. I'm like, yes, $10, $10, $10, $15, $10, $10, $15. And then get it up like that, and even quicker nowadays, get it up like, what's a half a snap? And I don't have to worry about what my income's going to be, ever. Unless something drastic happens, I know what my bottom line is going to be. And it's up to me to dictate on how much more I want it to be. You know, obviously, again, barring eBay site issues that we know are going on when they maintenance and update the site. So, and the changes, which we'll talk about one of the changes in a little bit. But, yeah, this is how many new people get on eBay. On eBay. Oh yeah, I gotta start a new sentence. Sorry. Oh, there it is. How many new customers. I'm having one of those days, brain fart days. I can't spell customers for the first 2 times. How many new customers buy on eBay daily? Let's just see what this says. It's just going to give me the eBay statistics there. But it's saying about 5,556 new buyers per day on eBay. And they're just using eBay's figures and doing the math for that. So, but even if you took half of that and say there's 2,500 new buyers on eBay every day, do you have what they're looking for? Right? So what are they looking for? You don't know. That's the beauty of this. You don't know what they're looking for. You may think they're looking for this high flip thing, but I'm over here thinking, oh, they're looking for this CD that nobody else has online that 25 other resellers passed up. That's my mindset. All right, let's do some shipping and then we'll talk more. But let's get some of this stuff moving. Oh, where are we at today? I'm curious too. We're going on 9 a.m. right now. Since I don't have my sales on, I'm curious to see. Sometimes I like to not turn on my sales about halfway through my day just to see where my sales are. Because if they're up and it looks like it's going to be a strong month, I'll leave them off as long as I can and then turn them on. So, but I usually end up turning them back on the first day. So don't get twisted there. It's usually doesn't work, and I usually turn my sales back on immediately. But today, so far, we're at $63 on the media store and $73 on the clothing store. And honestly, that's not bad compared, but let me see here. Only one item on the clothing store has sold for full price though, out of those. And that's what I kind of look at too. Are my sales the offers today, or are they people buying stuff at full price? So okay, clear that. Go back down and do it again. Oh, did they change that now? Oh, they finally, that's how you get to it. Okay. So I might be able to still see items listed every month and what's sold. I'm going to do something right quick then. Let's see. So 1 cassette, 1 video game. So 2 items, only 2 items sold at full price so far this morning over here. So chances are this will repeat and I'll end up turning my sales on probably halfway through my day. So, but anyway, I'm going to hit my 2021 folder. Now this is 2021 folder. This is items that I have still in my store. I can't do it like that. It won't do it. It'll only show me sold because I hit clear there. But it was there before. Maybe if I unclick it, it'll show it. Instead of... Yes. Okay, so my 2021 folder is my oldest folder. So it has everything I've listed in 2021 and prior that's still available in my eBay store. And here's... I can run through 21, 22, and 23 so you can get a gist on the sell-through rate. You can do your own little math, if you will. I'll just give you the numbers. So for 2021 and beyond, or prior, I still have 4,800 items in my store that I've listed during that time, right? in the last 90 days, 203 of those have sold. So that's what, 60, 120, 130, 133 a day, or a month, 133 a month. So, is that worth it to you, right? 4,800, 203 sold in the last 90 days. Let's go with 2022. Okay. Let me click off of these. You got to do it this way or they'll disappear. So bear with me. All right, so for 2022, I still have 10,000 items in my store that I've listed in 2022. Now, here's another way I kind of view this too. That's 10,000 items, right? Of course, if you're only doing high dollar or you're not doing volume, it won't be as drastic. But if I just didn't worry about these and ended them or did away with them, that's 10,000 items of work that I put in that I just threw away, right? So instead of just throwing it away, and also too, think about this, do the math long term for the year. When I do the 2021, just kind of divide that up, 200 every 90 days, and do it for a whole year. And chances are that that number listed is still going to be the same, right? So put it in like a year-long perspective for you. So 2022, I got 10,000 items. And in the last 90 days, 406 have sold. So not great numbers, right? But I put that work in. So why get rid of that? Let me switch it to highest first. Was there any high dollar ones? Yeah, like a $46 CD, a $37 8-track, another $37 8-track, a $35 LP, $20 sweater, $21 CD, $21 cassette. So it's not all just the low dollar stuff that sticks around for that length of a time. Johnny Winter CD, $21. Roy A. Cup vinyl, $17. A VHS tape, $17. So even 3 years later, selling $20 stuff that's been in the store that whole time. So I'm just providing you the information. You make the decisions for yourself. There's no right or wrong if you're successful, and it's not really wrong if you're failing. It's just it's just a lesson learned. Do something different, type of thing. So I'm just giving you as much information as I can on my situation. So 2023, these numbers are probably going to be worse when it comes to sell-through rate. We only got 327 that sold in 90 days. But again, there's $40, $40, $40, $40, $37, $24, $23, $22, $22, that promo clock, that drug promo clock that I sold the other day that you might have saw in videos, that was put up that year. $14, $18, $18. So I probably took an offer on those. So those must be lower than 14 because I got them in order. But still, again, a lot of decent dollar stuff. And even if you don't do extremely low value stuff, right? You still have stuff the $10 to $25 to $30 to $40 range still selling years later. So even if you just pluck my numbers, the majority is probably going to be the lowest numbers, right? How many of those 10,000 is, $5 items, right? Probably 80%, if not more, because usually higher dollar stuff, there's a more demand for it and it sells better. So when you do the math like that too, so I'm just giving you the information. How many do I still have listed from that year? We're in 2023 right now. only 7,200. So instead of 10,000 from 2022, I only have 7,200 for this year. So it wasn't worse per se, but maybe about the same, a little bit better. But I still have $200 items listed from that year. Now, should I go in and lower those? Yeah. They've been up there for years. I might as well. They're not going to sell for that. Chances are I probably never even got an offer on them, or I would have accepted it by now. I might as well go in and lower those prices. So that's one thing I'm probably slacking on. That would help me out. All right, let's do some shipping. All right, we got 9 items from the clothing store going out right now. Got one going to Iceland. Iceland, I haven't sat there in a minute. Move. All right. So I had noticed something. Well, I'm gonna start off with one thing I used to complain about on eBay, and that's when I would get several a day cancellation requests, found better price. I probably talked about it in videos. You probably recall me talking about it in videos, just how that has gone through the roof because eBay is putting similar items on our checkout, on our item pages, etc., etc. So technically, it's taking away from our impulse sales, right? Got this Adidas hat. Sold for $7. Headed to Red Creek, New York. So every time I got one, I hit that question mark feedback on eBay and stop putting other people's items in my checkout. I'm getting too many canceled, blah, blah. I copy and paste that every time. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one complaining about that. And of course, eBay, they're not going to get rid of that because they're doing it their way, right? They're not going to get rid of that. And everybody's trying to talk about AI with the race to the bottom. No. eBay putting lower priced items on my checkout, that's called a race to the bottom. Think about that one. It's not necessarily AI. It's eBay that's creating their own race to the bottom on their platform. They're not helping it any. How about that? They're actually encouraging it. Alrighty. I don't even know how to spell that. Pronounce that name. Chattera. ChatHura. Interesting. And then I noticed they disappeared. All those cancellations disappeared. So I was getting several a day. Found better price. To cancellations are few and far between now. I get one maybe every 3 or 4 days now. Period. Not just I don't recall finding a found better price one. So it went from several a day of all kinds of cancellations to one every 3 or 4 days. I'm like, weird. What's going on here? We got this Vera Bradley wallet. Sold for $10. Headed to Muscle Shoals, Alabama. So then people started talking about John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. Noticed when he was trying to give customer service to a customer that when the person said he paid, and see, I noticed this before, but I just kind of blew it off as the person wasn't telling me the truth. Had paid, but the payment hadn't come through yet because he was going to do a refund on the shipping, part of the shipping for multiple items or something. See, I had that before, but I'm like, yeah, there's probably a holdup with their credit card, something like. So I never put 2 and 2 together. All right, whoops. I guess I got to do this. That's not a hat, James. Maryland. So he was noticing like a 20-minute delay from when this person said they sent the payment to when it occurred. So me, I'm going to round that up. I'm going to say probably 30 minutes because you're not going to go boom, boom, boom. Oh, I sent it. You know, there's probably going to be a few minutes in there from somebody saying, paying, from it processing, from them telling you that. So I just rounded up to 30 minutes, right? 30 is a more round number. So I'm like, huh. And a light bulb went off when I was watching their video, the Profit Playbook podcast. We got the St. Louis Zoo. I love animals. Pfizer. Sold for $8, headed to Twin Falls, Idaho. So watching that, I put two and two together. I'm like, that's where my cancellations went to. That's why I'm not getting found better price cancellations anymore. Aha. So, it does appear, and I haven't looked around to see anything really new, but it does appear eBay is delaying payments to a seller. I'm just going to say 30 for at least 30 minutes. Or probably 30 at the most. How about that? Is this a good or a bad thing? Well, I'm going to give you my thoughts. Jeff, is it good for eBay? Yes. Because if, depending on how they're handling it, they might not be processing that payment. So are they saving processing charges? When you process credit card, you got to pay the processing fees. Are they saving money on the processing? I'm guessing. I don't know how their setup is or anything about it, but I'm guessing they're saving a processing fee. So if they wait 20 to 30 minutes before they process that payment and the person cancels, they didn't just miss out on that processing fee. They didn't just lose it, throw it away. So, and I don't know how all that works. I'm just looking at it from my ignorant perspective. That could be saving them a hell of a lot of money with all the transactions that goes on in eBay. We got this hand-painted, like 4th of July hat here. Sold for $10.50, headed to Bowling Green, Ohio. Is it good for buyers? Yes. It's definitely good for buyers. It allows them to cancel without doing too much about it. You know, if they have put in a wrong address, they have time to cancel it or whatever, change it and change that. So, is it good for the buyer? I think so. Is it good for the seller? From what I've thought so far, I would say yeah, because it saves a lot of work for me. Person's going to cancel, I don't have to do it. You know how many times, how much that deflates me as a seller, going, oh, another cancel. God, dang it, dang it, dang it. Found better price. And if you're doing low volume stuff, it's going to irritate you even more. I can't believe I just had to cancel that order. That was half of my money for today, right? And you get mad about it, and it ruins your whole day. Well, if you don't know about it, out of sight, out of mind, it didn't happen if I didn't see it. It keeps you in a motivated work mood, right? That's one good reason for it. How many times have I had to cancel something because of an address was wrong? And then they would, they may or may not buy it again. I've had both. Most of them buy it again. But I've had people who didn't buy the stuff again. So it saves that headache. Overall, I can honestly say that I think this is one of eBay's better updates. It actually serves a purpose and is good for everybody involved. When's the last time eBay made a decision like that? All right, next up we've got this Coach leather hat here. Found in storage. Sold for 25 bucks, headed to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Now that I think about it, the only cancellations I remember get anymore is when somebody does an offer. They send an offer, I accept it, and then they want to cancel. That's the only ones that are sticking out in my mind. I don't recall canceling a just flat out sale. I mean, I could have, I just don't recall it. Katina. Not Katrina, Katina. So, I'll take that one. I'll take that one. The Pink Pistol women's shirt. Sold for $9.50, headed to Tulsa, Oklahoma. The first 48 murder capital. I did notice another change too, which I was shocked about. And it wasn't 100% change. This was like Thursday or Friday, I believe, before Pee Wee's incident. Because I haven't listed much since then, and what I did list, this weekend I've been using List Easier. But on like stuff that they're not ready for, they haven't finished yet, I am just using them to get the title and then putting it over into drafts for eBay, right? So I did jackets. You remember that video I showed you jackets and how it made the titles for me? Well, while I was doing that, I noticed that eBay's item specifics, reading from the title, were so jacked up. They was not reading zero. I mean, it was not reading nothing, not color, not brand, on anything and everything, nothing. I had to do it all, right? I'm like, man, today this thing is broke. So I think I did 10 maybe. So at about number 4 or 5, about number 5, I think, all of a sudden, this new layout pops up for item specifics, for boxes to click. And for this certain jacket, it had probably like 25 item specifics all ready for me just to click all on. And I look at them, I'm like, whoa, this is new. Had the right title, the right size, the right color, and it had, is this vintage or not? It had that checked right, and all these other ones that I don't even mess with. And they're all right. And I'm like, okay. And I clicked all. I'm like, wow, I don't think I've ever used that many item specifics for an item. And I'm like, this is why it's not working. Actually, I was on text with Josh at the time. And probably Josh and Super Dave. And I go, this is why it's not working. They're changing it. And it actually made it better. But then that was the only time I saw it. Every other time went back to the old way. So it looked like it's a change in process that they're updating their listings, platform, the listing layout to actually work. I was shocked. Like, I can't even get Nike to recognize in the item specifics. It'll recognize color before it recognizes a brand name like Nike. So to see that, and I was shocked. I'm like, hell yeah, that works. Even though I'm probably not going to be using it in the future. I'm like, wow, okay, I'll take that. At least for now, that's, if I get it before I make the full switch, it's only going to help. So I haven't done anything since then. So maybe today I'll do something outside of CDs if everything remains kind of calm and normal today, and see if it's done that. So let me know if you've seen that new layout on the item specifics yet, and if it's doing it every time for you. Got this Under Armour youth hat, sold for $13, headed to West Virginia. So I just talked about 2 positive changes eBay has made. Now, that being said, my last 3 days have been good. They're not where they should be, but they're a hell of a lot better than they were. How long will that last? I don't know. I've seen it come and go before. What was it, March or April? That whole month, one of those months, kicked ass. I think my average was over $800 a day for the whole month. Was it? I don't remember. Something. I think so. And then it just went back down again. So how long will this 3-day process last? I don't know, but I'm probably definitely going to after I'm done, turn my sales back on, just so I don't jinx it myself and keep good sales coming in. Actually, I probably should do that right now on video, just to get it started. I'll do it after I do my clothing store here. I got one more left after this for the clothing store. John, let me see what just sold, see if that was full price or not. Legend of Zelda. Nope, that was an offer. So I might as well turn it back on. And lastly, over here was, Jan stopped by the bins the other day, and with her and Adrian, just for fun. She texted me a picture of these saying, should I buy them? She goes, they're really beat. She wasn't going to buy them. I'm like, no, buy them. Even though they're beat, they are Jordan Laser 4s. Now, the lasers are, when they have these laser cuts in them, like this, it's almost like an all-over print, but it's a laser cut. And it's usually throwback designs of the Jordan brand. Sometimes it'll be the shapes of the shoes and stuff like that. So these are the Laser 4s, and they are pretty beat. They got the cracking all around. They've got the rubbing. And they've got some of the heel wear. But I'm like, no, buy them. Because these in decent shape are $70 to $200, right? So I'm like, I could get $20 out of these easily. And the air bubbles were fine. So these sold for $22. Headed to Arlington Heights, Illinois. I did turn off my promoted and turn them back on a couple of days ago, also when we were having those bad sale days. And then I've been ending and selling similar also. So that might be what helped make my store run a little bit better too. So I don't know if both of these are going to fit in here. This size in this little thin box. I made it fit, damn it. Doink, doink, doink. Doink, doink, doink. All right, 211, 12, 6, 6. Sky. All right. Review purchases. So what you want? What you want? Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to my room where we can do it all night and you make me feel right. All right. Go to Seller Hub. We're going to get the sale turned back on. John. Karen. Katina. Somebody really named Katina, or did they just forget the R? Jeff. Is he? Myron. I don't like it when they're too curvy. I can't just slap them on easily. I have to use both hands to avoid creases. Speaking of crease, I finally finished. We watched finished up the last season of Cobra Kai yesterday. So it actually ended pretty cool. Didn't expect it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool ending. All right, let me go into discounts and let me just copy. All right, ended on June 30th. I've only got 2 over here. I run my hats, and then I run everything else. So hats. Launch. And then everything else. Boom. Copy. Sure I have the right one. Boom. And launch. All right, so that one's done. Let me jump over here to the media store and get that one started too. Give me some time to build up, turn on, get moving. So my coupons are already going. Wait a minute. Why did I just turn on June? I had my sales running the whole month, right? Huh? What happened to my July ones? Oh no, we're in July, James. Duh. Like I said, don't mind me today. My mind is woo woo. All right, everything else. Copy. Not all here, is he? That boy's just not all here. Launch. CD1. I went ahead and started CD2 yesterday because you can only do 20,000 per sale. So got over 20,000 CDs now, so I have to run 2 sales for my CD category. Launch. And cassettes. Copy. Boom. Boom, boom. LPs and 8 tracks, and then I think we're done. Because coupons, you can still extend those out, but for some reason, sales will not anymore. All right, all June 30th has been copied and restarted. All right. Now let's get some stuff shipped over here. So we got 19 orders over here to go. So I'm going to do less talking, more showing and getting through these since we're already 52 minutes in. And we got my new setup here. So first up, we got George Michael cassette tape. Ladies and gentlemen, best of, sold for $13. Headed to Waynestown, Indiana. Da, 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 da. More talk or more ship, less talk. I think I saw a chart the other day where media mail is going down. I was like, what? Something actually in our favor? So let me get this straight. We got media mail going down. We got eBay actually making a couple of updates that are going to benefit. And we got AI coming. And if you're in this video and you're this far deep, you already know, but I got to say it. I have nothing to do with that other lister, that other listing program. People are emailing me, contacting me, complaining about that other service that's out there. I'm not saying no names. I have nothing to do with that service. I have nothing to do with the fact that it's not working properly. I have nothing to do with nobody will answer your questions. I have nothing to do with that. I try to answer everybody's questions I can about List Easier. I have nothing to do with the other program. So please take your complaints to someone who has something to do with it, because I don't. All right, we've got Gay Happenings 3 CD. Hi, Pee-wee. Are you okay? Hopefully you don't need to go out right now. I put this in all wrong. I still gotta ship this stuff, little boy. So pull yourself up a chair. Hopefully you're okay. There's Mr. Pee-wee. So yes. And then I just noticed that's broke. So I'm guessing things might not be going too great for, and that's why with List Easier, it's about getting the bugs out and getting everything working properly, or at least closer to 100%, so that there's not a lot of frustration, because there seems to be a lot of frustration out there, and it's coming toward, some of it's coming toward me. So we got Gay Happening CD, sold for $560, headed to Minneapolis. And the one I got today is not the first, and it probably ain't going to be the last. Oh, I heard your belly, or was that my belly? Alex, you okay? We've got the FIFA Soccer for Super NES. Sold for $24, headed to Marion, California. I'm trying to make sure I see what he needs, if anything. Okay, he's laying down. I don't want another explosion. Especially down here on carpet. That would take me way too long to get the smell out. Way too long. Rod. I feel like I gotta hurry just in case he needs to go out. Her Best Friend's Husband DVD. Sold for $5, headed to Beaumont, Texas. Texas. That's my stomach making those noises. Next up, we've got 2 Time Life CDs, Body and Soul and In the Groove. One sold for $8, the other sold for $560. Headed to Brooklyn, New York. No sleep till Jonathan. Next up, we've got Are You Ready? Hey, for a CD live. Yeah. This is where I should keep stuff together. We got Nellyville. We got Eve. But here's with knowing what the spines look like helped me quicker. So we got Eve. We got Mariah. These all sold for $5 a piece. Buy 2, get 2. We got Miley. Welcome to the Dollhouse. Danity. Kane. AJ. Ali and AJ. Oh, that one needs resurfaced. Mariah and Mariah. See Mariah and Mariah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. last piece of bubble. You gotta go out front? You gotta go out front? He's not responding, so I'm guessing he's okay. I need to find a place to put my bag. Set it there for now. Okay. 2 even. Headed to Spring Valley, California. M-A-R-I. Okay. Next up. Are you ready? Hey, for a city life? Yeah. We got Bobby Brown in the house. Shanice. Where are you at? I know what you look like because it took me a minute to find you. Am I missing it again? I know. Yeah, of course. The spine is weird to see, like the name's at the bottom instead of up at the top. So it threw me off. That needs resurfaced. Fifth Harmony and In Excess. In Excess and Fifth Harmony. More resurfacing. You need a front. £1. Andy. Under. Ooh, that one's going to Canada. That one's going to UK. I'll do the internationals later. Remove. Next up, King Bee's Reflection. See, sold for $10.50. Headed to Canby, Oregon. Canby, Oregon. Yeah, 4. Susan. Susan, I say, Susan. Britney Spears. This album sells like quickly. I found like 3 or 4 of them in storage, and I've been putting them up separately. But before I get to the next one, I've already sold the other one. So for $5, headed to Goldsboro, North Carolina. So hopefully I come across more. Because even the one without the back insert sold for the same price. 4, 6, 9. Britney's back, baby. You know what? There's a lot of unstable people in the world. We got this Pacific Shores Sounds of Surf cassette. So for $8, headed to Jupiter, Florida. I mean, I guess we're all unstable in some sort of way. But when it comes to like crazy sort, like Britney and her stuff, Ozzy and his stuff, like when they're creative, at least on top of it, I'm cool with it, right? I'm cool with it. But if you got nothing going on in your life and you're like just just a crazy loon who, you know, thinks that, you know, your social media, that you're more important than you actually are, and because of social media, and you're just a Looney Tune, I don't have so much respect for that. But for crazy artistic people, I'm all for that. I'm like, you go. Because at least you're doing something successful with that crazy, right? If you're doing something successful with that crazy, then cool. But if you're just being an a-hole, and you think that you're doing something that you're really not, you're just self-gratification for some weird reason or something, no respect there. But you see a lot more of it these days. Actually, you see a lot less on the creativity side, because maybe they keep it more hidden. And you see it more on just the random people who think they're special. Trust me, none of us is special. We're only special to the people that we connect with, right? And then once both of those people are gone, you're not really special anymore. So technically, we were never really special. Shakespeare's Sister, CDs sold for $5, headed to Fremont, New Hampshire. North Hampshire. And I give Prince and Michael Jackson as examples for that. After their deaths, the way they just dropped off, and with each passing generation, they're going to drop off even more, right? Who am I? Who are we, you know, who don't have the influence and the audience and the creativity and all that kind of stuff? I mean, I couldn't tell you who the Prince of, or the Michael Jackson of 1940s was, or 1950s, or 1960s probably even. I could probably find the 70s if I thought about it, but offhand, I don't know. So guess what? That person in 1940 who passed away and everybody they knew has passed away, who are they now, right? That's why I love old photographs and stuff. I love finding old snapshots of time, just because I feel like it's giving those people, like if there is like an afterlife or something, it's giving them people like maybe a new spark. Like somebody sees them, right? Because that's what I kind of like about making videos on YouTube. I mean, after somebody's gone, and even Facebook groups, not groups, but profiles. After somebody's gone, years later, they could be discovered again. That's kind of cool. Without being like a Prince or a Michael Jackson, right? That's cool. Just an average Joe. That's what I like. And finding old videos of people who passed, or old Facebook pages of people who passed, I get the same feeling of when I look at old, actually more, same feeling when I look at an old photo, but with you get to know who they are by going through their Facebook page or watching a video, right? So you get more of that in-depth connection. Ultra Spank CD single promo, $5, headed to Rocky River, Ohio. So that's why it always, like YouTube for me, falls into the quantity over quality thing. But technically, what is quality? Me being authentic, to me, is better quality than a well-polished video. But that's just me. and trying to act like something I'm not, or, you know, it's just to put out a product to get a lot of views, to make a lot of money. That's not quality to me. Quality is when you see some of these, when you stumble across like a 10-year-old, 15-year-old video of a 14-year-old kid just talking honestly and just for the first time playing with a camera. To me, that's quality. But I've always been a liker of like the raw, like first albums, the rawness of a first album that's released. Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, you know, Black Sabbath, those first albums are just raw, right? I am a raw type of, I love the uniqueness of raw because you're not nothing more than who you are. 8 authentic. Authentic from years of growth before being manipulated in some sort of way, whether that's by popularity, money, fame. Others. Borat CD sold for $6, headed to Lafayette, California. It may not be what's popular, what makes the most money, but hey, we all make our choices in life. And that just happens to be mine. Nobody's right or wrong. Everybody's doing their own thing. Because in the end, we ain't going to matter anyway. All right, next up. Are you ready? Hey. Big band, Glenn Miller. Jerry Vale, Dean Martin. $5 a piece, buy two, get two. Headed to Southampton, New Jersey. We ain't gonna matter anyway until 100 years from now when somebody discovers something we left behind. And then we're something once again to somebody. Dennis. And hey, I don't need to be somebody to anybody more than who I connect with. My family, my puppies, my friends, you guys. Especially if you're watching this far into the video. Love. Tattoo Rodeo. Sold for $5, headed to Homeworth, Oklahoma. Or Hamworth, whatever. Oh, no, sorry. It's not an M, it's a W. Haworth. Yeah, Haworth. Okay. Maybe that's what I originally saw, but then thought differently. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe 3, 6, 9. Misty. 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 Next up, we got Al Stewart on 8-track. Sold for $5, headed to Warwick, Rhode Island. I definitely need to get my eyes, get some new glasses. I thought that was an RJ. I'm like, what? Huh? I'm getting no good view no matter how I look at it right now. They both suck. But it could be also fatigue on my body right now. Why my eyesight's pretty bad today. Because I feel pretty fatigued. CM. My eyes could just be tired on top of poor vision. And lastly, we've got Page and Plant CD, sold for $5, headed to Salt Lake, Utah. Salt Lake City. And then we are done, except for the international stuff. I'll move this down here just in case, because I haven't told Adrian about this shelf yet. I just did it this morning. For John. Review. Confirm. I don't want him going to look for a CD if I don't get back down to it. He gets down here before I do, looking for a CD and can't find it. It was right there in front of you. All right, I got 2 packages here to resurface. And I'm off to the post office, yo. John. I had ordered, last time I ordered these labels, I ordered by the 500. So they just doubled my order and sent me 250s. I'm like, that's not what I ordered. I wanted the 500s. So I don't have to deal with this as much. So I don't have to deal with, oh, they all didn't print as much. I gotta reprint some. Oh, I want 250. Oh, I want 500, not 250. So you're not getting my order again, because you didn't fulfill it properly. You thought it was just the same. That's where I see it a little bit different. Because it's all about speed for me. And it's hard to have speed when you can't do this with one hand and just slap it down because it's too damn curvy. And you have that double the often now, since you're at 250 instead of 500. So you're slowing me down by giving me that product that I did not order. And that don't make James very happy, James. No, it don't. It doesn't make me a miserable James, though, or an unhappy James. It just makes me not going to order from your ass anymore. It just makes me take my stuff elsewhere. Because you failed me. I'm disappointed. A disappointed James in you. How about that? I'm going to make that a t-shirt. Don't disappoint James. I'll wear it myself and people will be like, who's James? I'm like, I don't know. I just found this at the thrift store. Ooh, that could be a good shirt. I just found this at the thrift store. Or look what I found at the thrift store, and just leave it vague like that. People will be like, well, what, the shirt? All right, that is all for me beyond the resurfacing. So thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you have a nice, fun, profitable day. And I will see you all in the next video.